The Muir Woods are named for legendary conservationist John Muir, and they're just 12 miles north of San Francisco. There's more than 500 acres of giant redwoods, much of which are considered old-growth coastal redwoods. The trees reach a majestic 250 feet in the sky, and sun filters through the branches. The birds, chipmunks, squirrels, they share the trails with walkers, hikers, and there's a creek that weaves its way through the forest, filled only with the dampness of the morning fog. It could easily make you feel dwarfed, insignificant, as you wander in the forest of that shadow in such majestic beauty, in this grand display of God's creation. But instead, you feel as though you're in the midst of great and wise spiritual teachers. They have lessons to teach, wisdom to give, advice to share. The redwoods, they call us to stand tall and proud in our place among living beings, to see our individual uniqueness and beauty, as well as the natural fact that we're part of a community, part of something much bigger, grander, larger than ourselves. And they call us to be grounded, to know we have roots that go far, deep, roots that connect us to generations past and present. They invite us to reflect on the nature, the light of our true nature, to be who each of us has been created to be, to find and live the purpose planted within each of us. They encourage us to think long term and to take that chance when needed to go out on a limb. They encourage us to embrace with joy the changing seasons of the year and the seasons of our lives, the birth and renewal of spring, the youth and growth of summer, the cool and maturity of autumn, the cold and aging of winter. They invite us to be attentive to nature's light all around us, sunlight and moonlight and starlight. They remind us to seek nourishment from the good things in life, to be content with our natural beauty, to freely let our arms sway and dance in the breeze, and to face the challenges we encounter by being flexible. Yet these lessons were almost lost forever, little more than a century ago. William and Elizabeth Kent owned almost 300 acres of redwood forest up in Mill Valley, just 12 miles north of San Francisco, land that a private company sought to take by eminent domain so they could develop another town. The Kents wanted to, quote, preserve the beauty and restful wilderness. So instead, they donated that land to the federal government, creating the first national monument from a private land donation. Mr. and Mrs. Kent then chose to name this Muir Woods to honor John Muir, that early advocate of preservation of wilderness, the founder of the Sierra Club. But had that company been so successful and not generously outsmarted by the Kents, then Joni Mitchell's song lyrics from 1966 would have been sadly true. They took all the trees and put them in a tree museum, and they charged all the people $1.50 just to see them. Don't it always go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. So had that company been successful and not generously outsmarted by the Kents, we would have lost that future hope image that the prophet Micah called people to seek and strive for, a future of peace, prosperity, security, a time that was biblically symbolized when each person shall sit under one's own vine and fig tree, when there's safety and security to not live in a constant state of readiness for war or trouble or disaster, when there's time to relax and not work and just worry about the next bite to eat. Had the company been successful and not generously outsmarted by the Kents, had they not done, as Sue Monk Kidd advises, never give up on what you love, we would have lost the grandeur and the wisdom, the lessons and the blessings from your woods and all the other national forests that followed. So you never give up on what you love. Stand tall and proud. Sink your roots deeply into the earth. Reflect the light of your true nature. Go out on a limb. Let your limbs sway and dance in the breeze. They shall all sit under their own vines and under their own fig trees, and no one shall be afraid. And it's one thing to listen to these words, these thoughts and advice, but now I invite you to take one more step, to join me in a meditation, a journey of your imagination to see what other lessons await you. So again, getting comfortable and close your eyes. Just open your imagination and see where this takes you. Let your breath be slow and deep. Imagine that you are a great tree with roots extending deep into the center of earth. Let your breath move down into your roots and at the same time out through your highest branches. Breathe deeply into your root. Let the energy from the earth travel through your roots and up through your highest branches, out into the sky above you. Breathe deeply. Let the light of the sun touch your branches, travel down through your trunk, deep into your roots, and flow out into the earth. When you feel fully grounded, in touch with both earth and the sky, become aware that in your heart, mind, there exists a garden. Its fruits spring from the energy of your thoughts. As your breath sinks deep within your body, let your mind travel deep within until you find yourself in the garden of the heart. Now is the time to weed the garden, to uproot from the garden any thoughts that are limiting, any emotional patterns that are negative, any actions that are incomplete. See yourself pulling up, weeding out those thoughts of fear, separation, scarcity, pain. As you carefully weed the garden, take time to bring to mind the ways in which these thoughts were strangling the beautiful plants in the garden. Weed the garden, aware that these weeds, these limiting thoughts, are no longer necessary. Throw the weeds onto the compost pile so they can be used as fertilizer to help the new seeds to grow. When you've uprooted all the weeds, imagine yourself spreading the compost over the garden. When the soil is ready, begin to plant new seed thoughts, affirmations of courage, abundance, joy. Plant new seed thoughts of well-being for yourself and for all of earth. As each new thought is planted, let its energy resonate like a mantra through your entire being. Safe in the garden of the mind, let the new seeds take root. Affirm that they will feed all of life. Safe in the garden of your mind, allow the seeds to take root, that they may be harvested for the good of all life. When you're ready, open your eyes, but I hope you keep the image of your garden.